This is what's hard about being a business loan broker, a referral partner, an agent, whatever capacity. It's not the processing. It's not the due diligence of your lenders who you want to work with, who can you work with, the organization, and plenty more. It's actually the leads and lead generation. If you've been in this space for a while or for some time, you likely would have known this by now. You likely have ran into your own issues, or you didn't. Things are smoothened out and they've been like that and that way for a while. And if you're a complete beginner, please listen into this. I'm going to give you a great perspective on this and getting into something about leads that you would not have likely thought of. And this is coming from somebody who is a funding expert, who has a higher standard, who has themselves together in business and in their own life as a human, characteristic traits. If you're asking where and how can I buy leads, I don't recommend that. That can be regurgitated traffic and packaged into another person, sent to another person. Couldn't be isolated, or a lot of the times it wouldn't be. And so now that package or that person is sold to another person. And even if it isn't, I still don't recommend that. And you have to put yourself in their shoes. Would you want to be getting cold called, cold emailed, a text message, a combination, one or more, and listening to somebody trying to help you with funding in that kind of way? If you do, okay. But I have a different standard, and I wouldn't want somebody to be doing that with me. I want somebody who it's people over profits. They really do care about me, my well-being as a person first, and then in business. I'll get into that a little bit later and how that ties into lead generation too. So don't do that. That can be cycled traffic, even if it isn't. And you could be spending for more in this field than what you're getting in return, your return on investment, profitability. Things can happen immediate or they don't. And I'll be getting into what happens with clients, with people, and the directions they go and why they go in that direction. And if you're out there trying to spend for a business loan broker course training and it's in a reasonable price and you'll get enough education out of it, if a lot or not, there's still leaves room for questioning if so. And if you're spending a lot for something and you know you can get after it, like if you have a background, a network of small businesses, SMBs or whatever, like you're in the tax preparation space, you're in accounting, bookkeeping, credit repair, or something else like digital marketing in an agency, or something else, or you have already a background in this and you have clientele and you feel like paying for something will really be a benefit and it makes sense, then okay. But I don't recommend doing that even then, is spending for stuff like that. There are other ways of getting into the space and saving. Even if you don't have that kind of background and you have a network, or you feel like you can get after it and get a network growing, bring people into an application, even being hands off where you don't have to do the processing, reviewing of financials, and it's hands off for you. There are different ways of doing it in this field in different sectors, services, etc. So spending for leads can be costly in both your time and energy. And this industry is already cutthroat as it is. It's already volatile. There could be a high turnout. There could be people who come through and then people who quickly go away from this industry. And it has a lot to do because of that, because they don't have the right leads. They don't get enough leads. They don't want to have to do the activities that it takes to get these leads. And you commonly hear the traditional go to events, local chamber of commerce. I'm not saying, and I'm not discounting that. You can. Calling businesses, or however you go about it correctly to do that. Emailing. There's so many different ways of doing this. Social media wise, I've built a sizable brand personally and in business. And so there are many people who know me based off online and then also offline. So you can also have those relationships with banks, bookkeepers, accountants, whatever it is. and you're building something. Excuse me, I'm trying to move my shoulder. And you're going to get after it. So if the return on investment isn't as immediate as you would like it to be, and if you don't have that expectation coming into this, maybe you've tried in the past, take it with a grain of salt. You're still learning the skill set and skill sets that will separate you from others. Building your personal and business brand and awareness with others will really do a lot of good. So if they don't come to you immediately, but they know about you, they've heard of you, or you communicated with them in an email or something like that, and it's memorable, hey, later down the road, they could come back to you. It's how you present yourself. It doesn't always have to be a phone call. Contrary to popular belief, there are different ways, different parts of the process. If it builds up to that, you have to be calculating in this. And I'm very introverted. I'm much more of the analytical, cerebral type. So I'm very calculating when it comes to this. Not much of a wordsmith. So you have to be careful with your energy and time in this. So lead generation strategies, what I recommend you do is like some of the ones that I just said. I recommend with your local chamber of commerce, getting into your own bank or multiple banks and leveraging that partner relationship so they can send you business owners and businesses your way. Accountants, bookkeepers. And don't spread yourself too thin, because even when you partner with somebody, they may not send you anything for some time, or they don't send at all. They say they'll do something and they don't. Been there, done that. I know who those are that are with me and those who are not. And I mean with me too as a person, not just in business. You have social media, you have YouTube, blog posts, real content on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. There are many different strategies. You can use Craigslist. So that's something to know about. I can go deep into lead generation. Another thing too is if you're questioning this industry, if you've been in it and you're still questioning it, and you're looking for an alternative, and even something where you can clone my funding business with a twist, and I mean a twist where you don't have to provide a service for funding whatsoever. You can if you want, whatever the reasons are, you're promoting that. And you can have a team built underneath you. So there's capabilities that if somebody that you brought in gets a client funded, there's capabilities to getting a percentage of that, an amount of that. There are capabilities again for that. So building a team is worth it, but not just relying on a team member to go get a client funding. You're going to help them and all that. You're not where you need to be positioned, or one or the other is winning, the other one is taking forever, or you both are winning. Woo! Don't just settle on that. I would not want to have something where I'm just having to start at zero and from complete scratch every single month. And that's what you get with the funding industry a lot of, is even what your pipeline looks like, how you're generating leads, if it's consistent or not, even if it is consistent, do you want to depend on something where you have to reset and every single month, whatever the amount of clients you got last month, beginning this next month at zero? Because that's the reality of it. I'd rather have something residual coming in each and every single month without having to start at zero from complete scratch. Instead, something predictably is coming in. And that's where my clone business comes in. With the twist, I mean, you don't have to provide a service if you don't want. I have put together what I believe to be the very best products that are out there, residual based, that I use, that others use. And it doesn't have anything to do with funding. Or you can get the templates that I have for funding and put them underneath a digital education platform. It's called a funnel building tool, where a lot of these pages will be hosted that you can use to help clients. Or if you don't want to help clients, but build out your affiliate army. That's what I would recommend. There are products for like the ultimate cashback savings and referral program, the digital education, the funnel building tool, funding, an email autoresponder tool. So I'll be showing you how to build out your business and do it correctly. And then where you don't have to be dependent on getting clients funding at all if you don't want to. And you can duplicate what I have, the system, the business, share it with others, hassle-free, and getting introduced to these residual products. So again, being able to introduce people to these without having to start at zero and from complete scratch. That's what's very important. Have something with lesser volume building up without having to start at zero. And as an income disclaimer, as an earnings disclaimer, I have to put this out there. It's standard. I'm not saying you'll make $1. I'm not saying you'll make six figures or anything. But like I tell and I share with people, if you show up, you have the right attitude, effort, consistency, persistency, discipline, and focus, then your possibilities are maximized. And that goes for anything and everything. I'm not over promising and under delivering. I'm being realistic and I'm being truthful with you. I've been in this industry for a while. I don't just depend on clients. I get clients, and even then, what happens is they can be very unpredictable, very self-sabotaging. That's also something to be careful with leads. And I have a perspective as a person in business that I share with them, and they can do the same. But the mindset for a lot of people who need funding, and even before funding with business owners and their businesses, even in different fields, it's like very short-term transaction, and it's like not character building, if that makes sense. So working on yourself, personal growth and development, like I have for many years, will help you see and observe people even more closely. And you see that their actions, they will start to speak louder than their words. They might start off with a lot of speaking, or they don't. And let's see what their actions actually show. Are they committed? They forgot to send the bank statements, or one bank statement is missing. This document, oh, they didn't look at the email. Oh, I followed up, but the call's not going through. Text message, oh, they weren't responsive. They were in the beginning. It's like they change. Like they present themselves, and you may have thought they were loyal, but they really showed their true colors. And if they're loyal all the way through and you don't have these problems, great. No friction, no resistance, or very little of it, great. But oftentimes you don't get that. Other times you do. It's slow riding. Other times you're on a high end, somewhere in the middle. So depending on these clients to get you something, why would I leave it up to the clients? And there's a lot of parts of the process where a client can get declined. Junior, senior underwriting, closing, like why would you leave it up to the process? Why would you do that? There's so many factors that contribute to declines, to approvals, more people getting declined than approved, and in different markets. Right now is a hard one. A lot of people need funding for working capital to get through. Cash flow, liquidity, cash on hand, and reserves for months, even more months than before, years. And it's not always easy to get or get as much. And then you have stipulations, you have thoughts change. I don't want this anymore. This wasn't what I wanted. Like you got to adjust different ways to show them different ways too, if it makes sense for them and what their needs are. But don't be pushy. I'm not pushy. That's not who I am. It's not my character. I'm very loyal, have a lot of integrity. I'm very trustworthy, reliable, accountable, responsible. I'm not perfect, but I've done a lot of personal growth development in businesses. I have an academic background too, and I've worked in a lot of different fields, industry before I even got into business. So I know what hard work looks like and working hard up here. So that's what I wanted to mention is don't get so caught up in this industry. Even if you're not getting the leads that you want, don't be hard on yourself. It could be something you're not doing strategically and tactically and not enough of it. You could be on the right path, but not enough of it. That's why you have to be consistent. People say it's a volumes thing. It's a volumes game, and it can be that. It doesn't always have to be. You start getting returning clients, those that you serve come back, but how often will they come back? What's the lifetime value of a returning customer? What's the new customer acquisition cost? Like, what do you have to do to go out there and understand these things? So that's why I presented the clone business with the twist, where you don't have to present funding to people or consumer services business or consumer services. Instead, you have other options and other products, and building your digital business as well, and building out that affiliate army through different means. So that's what I wanted to mention to you. Down below in the description and or in the comments, I'll have more information on this clone business and anything else that you can pick up. I'll also leave in the description my email too if you feel like reaching out, but start with what I have, the link and everything else that I have for you. And just know, again, I've been a funding expert for a while. I listen more than I talk. I ask the right questions, I observe. I know people's characteristic traits well. Very sincere, and at the end of the day, I want to help somebody in their business grow because of their economy, what they're doing, the vision, the mission, the values, the ethics, the morals, the virtues. I see all of that past what I'm getting, and don't do it because of this. Have an interest, have a passion for what you're doing that's greater than that. Your why, who you are, why you're doing this, that'll carry you above and beyond, and you'll see more, and you'll start to make those changes and grow even more and have a longer lasting impact. So that's all from me. Thank you for tuning in.